Hello, everyone. She's back on YouTube. Can you believe it? It's been what? I would say at least a solid year since I've posted to this account. A lot has happened in that period of time, and maybe I should do a video discussing all of the changes that have transpired both personally and professionally in that period of time for me. But it has just been quite the experience. And at time of recording, it is April of 2025, and I am committing to YouTube videos. It's wild. It's exciting. It's all the things, I guess, as we would say on the podcast, the Spiritual Sisters podcast that I co-host with my sisters. So I'm Gabrielle Celeste. If you don't know me, allow me to introduce myself. I am a psychic astrologer, medium, numerologist, astrologist, all the things, I suppose. And I have done over 500 readings at time of recording, and I've learned a lot in that process. And I wanted to share today some of the things that I've learned from doing so many readings and takeaways being a spiritual entrepreneur for, can you believe it, almost 3 years at the end of April, which is crazy. I launched my business in the summer of 2022, and I officiated it in April of 2022 because I was working with the astrology at the time, and a lot of the planets were in Pisces, and I'm a double Pisces. And so all this to say, speak of the sisters, both are texting me at the same time. Actually, shout out to the shirt. This shirt, the Vulcan Stone, it's 20 years old, and it's been passed down from my sister and brother cousin, and I was like, I should change, but then I put my lipstick on and I made an effort to get ready, and I was like, I'm not going to change. It's kind of a vibe. So, where was I going with that? So I wanted to talk about all the things that I've learned and maybe do a series on YouTube of just takeaways that have been lessons for me throughout so many readings, throughout running my business. And part of the reason that I really wanted to lean into and put more effort into YouTube as the platform is because I want it to be something that is saved and doesn't die with me, and it's almost like documented somewhere, either in like the visual or written form. And this is obviously quite visual, and it's also another opportunity for you, the audience, to connect with my energy. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into some of the lessons that I have learned as a spiritual entrepreneur. And I think we'll go into 3 today. 3 that I would say are pretty non-negotiable and unavoidable, with the first one being that your business is going to change and evolve and grow as you change and evolve and grow and do the inner work, so to speak. Running a business is a challenge regardless, but you have the additional layer of it being a spiritual business. And this industry has definitely gained popularity and notoriety in the last couple of years. But I think because it has that additional component of the success of your business being directly related to your personal growth and development, and or in some way, shape, or form reflected back to you through the structure of your business, I would say that the change is unavoidable because your business is going to change and grow as you do that, and you're meant to flow and adapt. And there's just an additional challenging component that just comes along with the territory of doing this type of work. So I would definitely say that that's number 1. The second takeaway and lesson that I've learned is that your clients, your clientele, whether you're in a group setting or in a one-to-one setting, they are going to reflect back to you your healing, whether it's your current healing or whether it is healing that you have just overcome or passed and maybe are 2 steps ahead of your clientele. And I feel like that can show up in a lot of ways, whether it's the modalities that you're studying or the type of work that you're doing for yourself, doing the inner work, so to speak, unblocking. But I think one of the main takeaways that I've noticed and what has come up for me is that so much of your own subconscious blocks, limiting beliefs, are going to be reflected back to you in sessions with your clients or whichever audience that you're working with, however you're working with them. And it's coming up for a reason. And I think that the extent to which you can acknowledge that is dependent on how healed you are and also your consciousness And if your consciousness is expanded enough to acknowledge and be able to comprehend that that is what's happening for you at that period of time. So there's a lot of different ways you could look at it. And if you take that as a blessing, or if you take that as a challenge, I suppose, there's opportunity regardless for the growth, either if you're already ahead of it or if it's being reflected back to you in that period of time. And the third takeaway I would say is you cannot ignore your physical health being a spiritual entrepreneur, because so much energy work is involved in this type of work in general. And doing so many readings and having the opportunity to do so many readings, firstly, I identify as a spiritual athlete. And so I know I have to take care of my body, from getting movement in, from getting the right food and nutrition, and making sure I'm on top of that, from meditating. There's a lot of emphasis that's put on to your personal protocol in order to show up and to be a clear vessel, to be able to relay the information that you're being asked to share from the divine. So I would say that that is a non-negotiable amongst all three of the takeaways. And they're definitely things that I learned. They're definitely lessons that I learned over the course of the last 3 years, and have had to come to find them out for myself. So if I can save other people some time, then I'm happy to do that. But yeah, I think I'm committing to weekly YouTube videos and just going to hang out and catch up and just be able to share some of my readings and my findings and takeaways, and just share my knowledge. So we'll see how this continues to develop over the course of time. But I am excited to be back on and to commit to this platform and to be able to share more truths that maybe don't make the most sense to share in, or on the podcast or on my Instagram or my email list, which I will link all of that below, and as well as my academy, where I have courses available for those to learn from me. But yeah, I'm super excited to see what this is going to become. And yeah, until next time.